What's up, guys? Today we are checking out the Slate Digital ML2 modeling microphone. This is a small diaphragm condenser microphone, but with a little twist. On the back of it, there's a switch. It can be turned into a dynamic style microphone. I'm pretty sure it's not like a pad switch. It basically, I don't know how it works exactly, but yeah, it changes its characteristics from like a small diaphragm condenser to a dynamic microphone. Slate came out with the ML1 a long time ago, which is a large diaphragm condenser, which along with its preamp, the BMS1, you could use this very transparent, very, nice sounding microphone along with this very transparent preamp and model all kinds of classic tube microphones that really nobody can afford. Anyways, this mic is just like that, except it's meant to model some more modest microphones, instrument microphones, like your 57, 421, 414, stuff like that. So it's meant to be used with a transparent preamp. Now, they announced the VRS8, which is an interface with 8 of their VMS preamps on it. That's what this is meant to be used with. But according to Slate, you can use these with a number of different types of preamps out there. I know that a set of 8 that I have, the Audient ASP880, is supposed to work great with these. And after using them, I can say that that's definitely true. So yeah, transparent mic preamps with a transparent mic, and then you run it through the modeling software, and it should be able to sound like any mic you want. So like I said, got 4 of these. We're going to try them out on drums. Let's check it out. Okay guys, so here is everything that I did in Cubase 9.5 Pro. I recorded just the mics that I normally use on the drums, and then I've got some of the mics I normally use on the drums, except I'm using the ML2 on the kick, snare, rack tom, and floor tom. Then I'm using just the ML2s on the overheads and the normal mics that I normally use in a space pair, and then an XY on the overheads, and then I did a Slate only microphones, ML2, kick, snare, overheads and space pair, and an ML1 as a room mic. Let me go ahead and play this back for you so you can hear what it sounds like. So I chose the custom kick, and I think I'm using a standard 57 on the snare, and then I've got on the toms I'm using the custom MD421 on the tom, and then the standard 421 on the floor tom. Let me go ahead and play that back for you. So here is what the regular drum sounded like. And then here is the Slate mics. So I definitely personally like the D6 more, and I didn't really find, out of all of these microphone models, the D112 and the D12 RE20, stuff like that, even the SM7B and the 421, none of them really are, I don't really prefer any of them over the D6, to be honest. So it sounds really good though. It is a really, really good kick drum sound, and just, me personally, I'd probably stick with the D6. As far as the snare, let's compare the my SM57 to the ML2 57. Let's see what that sounds like. So yeah, I really like the ML2, but I gotta say, I kind of prefer just like my 57. I think my 57 has a little bit more punch to it, a little bit more power. But the thing about the ML2 is that you can get that power out of it. If you duplicate it, you can like blend tones, and you can get a really, more unique snare sound. So it's kind of hard to say. I probably would stick with the 57 that I own most of the time, but then again, like if I got more ML2s, maybe I'll use a 57 and an ML2 on the snare. So on the kick drum, I've got a duplicate, and the snare drum I've got a duplicate. So I put a FET47 as a more distant mic, and I changed the proximity and made it further away. That's the other really cool thing, is the microphone was on the inside of the kick. So on the the main kick ML2, or whoops, wrong one. This one right here, this one's proximity is a little bit closer. I felt like it smacked a little too much, so I backed it off a little bit. And then this one I made even further away. So it's really just, it really comes out great. So let's hear what that sounds like. The 414 and the 57, the FET47 and the D12. Here you go. Let's hear it without. Man, that is just fantastic. Really cool. The bringing the 47, the FET47 in, just gives it a little bit more balls in the kick, and then the snare drum definitely has a lot more power as well. Just absolutely fantastic. Really, really cool. Now for the toms, one thing that I was going to mention is I'm using the 420, some new 421s on here, and this is sort of what they sound like. And then if I listen to the toms that the 421s that I picked for the ML2s, listen to these. They sound way better than the 421s that I have. And I don't know if it's maybe just the ones that I have, but that is the one thing that stands out to me the most is, you know, I can stick with the D6 or, you know, even my 57 on the snare drum and not use ML2s on it. I'd be totally fine with that. But the ML2s as tom mics is just blows away the MD421s that I have, actually. It just sounds way better. The custom version on the floor tom was a bit much to me. It was a little too boomy. I love it on the rack tom, but the standard 421 I thought sounded fantastic on the floor tom. So yeah, they work really well as highlight mics on the drum kit. One of the reasons that I really like the 87 is because I can put it in omnidirectional, or like 414s or large diaphragm mics that, you know, you can put in omnidirectional mode, or even small diaphragm condensers. With small diaphragm condensers, you're going to get more transient response than the large diaphragm condensers. And a lot of people really like that, but that isn't something that I'm necessarily going for with my overheads all the time. In fact, the reason I put it in omnidirectional mode is because it sort of reduces that proximity effect. Well, in comes the, you know, Slate. With the 414 as my overheads modeling here, I can just back off the proximity, and it almost makes it like that, you know, like react like an omnidirectional microphone would. Less transient response, a little more washy. So let me solo the space pair for you, and I'll solo the 87s, and we'll go back and forth, and I'll show you. So right now I've got the proximity on the 414 ML2 model just at standard, okay? So just at 0. So here's what the 87s sound like. Okay, here's ML2s. So there's definitely a difference in proximity, but now check it out when I back this all the way off. Now the 87s. I don't know how, you know, hard it was for them to do this, but man, they just knocked it out of the park with that. Right now it's the 414s. FET 47. The two 22s. Get the 451s. Pretty amazing what they're able to do. Yeah, that's just really cool. I really like that about these mics. So yeah, here's the space. And the XY. Really surprised at that, how good they are as overheads. I mean, they're small diaphragm condensers, so I'm not super surprised that they sound good as overheads. But the fact that, you know, like just the feature that you get with being able to change the characteristics of the mic, making them sound more like, you know, one or the other. Modeling on. Okay, yeah, it sounds really great. So no tom mics or anything, but if you're, you know, like if you have, you know, only 4 or 5 mics or something like that, you actually can get a really good drum sound. You can use the Glyn Johns technique or like the Mixer Man technique or whatever too. There's always ways to get a good drum sound, even with a minimal amount of mics. You don't need a ton of them. Okay, so that was the Slate ML2 microphone. I got 2 of these at Sweetwater and 2 of them at Vintage King. I think a lot of places are out of stock right now. They're a pretty hot item. But yeah, fantastic mic. I'm definitely gonna get more of these in the future. I could see them being a studio workhorse microphone. You know, I would still recommend any serious, you know, recording enthusiast or engineer or whatever, you know, you should still have, you know, a 57. I wouldn't say, you know, get a bunch of these and throw out your 57s and your 421s and stuff like that. I think, you know, never get rid of microphones. I think even the cheapest ones are good to have. You never know. They have such an impact on the quality of the sound and the tone and everything like that. That's really the most important tool that we as engineers have. And this is just another great tool in the toolbox. Yeah, the guys at Slate, Stephen Slate, Fabrice Gabriel, did just a fantastic job on this mic. It was well worth the wait. Anyways, so I hope you like that. You know, there's a lot to get to with these mics. I'm sure there was a lot of stuff I could have gone over. I'd like to try it on some other things at some point. And I wish I had more microphones, you know, just if it were just ML2s on the drums, but didn't really have that. So I hope that this was somewhat helpful for you guys. Kind of, you know, 150 bucks, you know, not a bad price for these, especially for everything that it does. Pretty incredible. Totally worth it. Yeah, so if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. And it's been a while since I've made any videos. I'm a working engineer, you know, I'm trying to make money, make a living. But I've got more videos that I'm going to work on and bring out in the future. A lot of new stuff in the studio, stuff like that. Anyways, the Slate ML2, go get you one. Get you a bunch. They're really awesome. All right, guys. Adios.